what we're attempting to do is we want truth to always feel good. Have you noticed that? And there is, in fact, that definition that on the natural love path that most of us have absorbed, and that is that if it's the truth, it will always feel good. There's this thought that we have that truth will always feel good rather than just feel. So we have this belief system that for something to be truth, it has to feel good. And so therefore, every single time we're presented with something that has a flavour to it that causes us to confront ourselves personally, particularly confronting our personal truth, there is this high tendency we have to resist and reject that particular truth. Now, this brings me to the topic of the second subject on this matter of the way that we want to discuss more about, and that is, remember the second one? It was about truth, isn't it? Having a passionate, longing and desire for God's truth Now, I haven't said exactly the words I said right at the beginning because I want to add and embellish this thought a little. Remember that truth opens our soul to love. And in this case, let's be more specific, to God's love. You know, to open our soul to God's love, we need to begin to accept within ourselves God's truth. Now, God's truth is a wide subject, as many of you are now starting to understand more clearly. Divine truth permeates all parts of our life. It permeates our physical life. It permeates our scientific belief systems. It permeates our spiritual life, our emotional life, and all of our belief systems in both of those areas of existence. It permeates the scientific truths of the universe itself, as well as the truths about our own personal existence and our own personal state. It is all-encompassing. It has no holes. It has no loopholes either, as well as holes. The truth is such that it is the main force of power for good in the universe. Now, when I say it's the main force, I'm saying that the truth has its power because without it, love is not possible. You can't open your soul to love without truth being present. And for that reason, truth goes hand in glove with love, as the saying would go. So what we want to do with our feelings about truth is really check upon our feelings about truth. Now, on the natural love path, we have a tendency to absorb truths that are palatable to our taste buds from an emotional perspective. So we like the taste or the sound of it, and so we accept it. Whether it is actually truthful or not, we just gauge our level of acceptance is totally controlled by whether it feels good to us or not. And that is a problem. Because if the truth does not feel good to us for some specific reason, and I'll put to you later that actually many times the truth is not going to feel good to us, then we are not going to accept anything that doesn't feel good. We are not going to emotionally open to anything that doesn't feel good. And when we do that, we are severely limited in our ability to receive love. Because remember the role of truth on your soul. The role of God's truth is to actually physically create the opening. So if you imagine this is your soul, and then this is the hard shell, eggshell around the outside of your soul, where you've become self-reliant and you're not going to let anything in unless it feels good. Right? What truth does is it creates a vortex or an opening somewhere in that allows us to have a way in which other external information can infiltrate the soul. Truth actually creates this opening. It breaks down the hard shell of lies and untruth and resistance, and instead creates a permeable layer within our soul that allows things to go through it. It's a bit like osmosis. You've heard of osmosis? You've heard of probably reverse osmosis, which is a way of filtering water. But osmosis allows liquid to penetrate through what is seemingly an impermeable membrane. And what we need to do is, truth is the thing that opens our soul to allowing the love to actually flow into it. It creates this gap or this opening in our hard shell. Without truth, our soul is condemned to stagnation. And yet, so many of us still hate hearing the truth. And that is an indication that we are addicted to the natural love path, the broad way. Can you see that? You see, if we really, at the emotional level, understood the importance of truth in our day-to-day lives, would we be as resistive to it as we currently are? Now, I am not talking about somebody coming along and telling you the truth, yabbering at you about what they perceive the truth to be. I am talking about the truth actually being a part of your soul, actually inside of your soul itself.